starting with the great name of Almighty Allah, who is the most gracious and most beneficent.
So next topic is canal maintenance and the software related to the canal design. Now canal maintenance is very necessary because in case we are constructing a canal where there is alluvial soil or any soil and in case where the silting is taking place, so it's essential for us that we should maintain it. So the problems that which are associated with the canals are the silting of the canals, weeds and the plants growth. Yeah. Yes, sir. Uh, so the problems associated with the canals are the silting of the canal, weeds and plants growth, failure of the weaker banks, hollows created by animals like crabs, canal breaches. Now silting occurs in the case when the water flows in the canal and the sediments which are suspended into it due to the less velocity get suspended at the bottom of the canal and the silting occurs. In that case, this is also a big issue for us that should be for maintenance should be done for it too. Second issue that is the problem is that weeds and the plants growth. If the plants and weeds are grown at the bottom, then it's possible that it might deteriorate it or so for that we have to also have to check for it and have to inspect that for whether the plants are grown or not and have to take suitable measures for it too. Then third is the failure of the weaker banks. Now if in case that the excess amount of the, for example, if the supply is the canal is designed for a particular need supply and the suddenly the water is the great amount of water is entering from the head, in that case the or any flooding is there or excessive rainfall have taken place. In that condition what will happen, the water will overflow and will can cause the seepage at the banks level, and in that case what will happen, the failure of the banks will seepage will cause the weakness in the banks and failure can be caused. Fourth is the hollows created by the animals. If the animals will be there or any crabs type water habitant animals will be there, then in that case what will happen, they will tries to create and dig out some material from it, and slowly it also can make the canal weaker either at the bottoms or its side wherever they will create hollows. So small things will make big changes. That's why we have to inspect also for the hollows created by the animals and crabs. The fifth is the canal breaches, means any crack is there or uh, any failure is occurring. In that case we also have to take suitable measures. Now canal breaches occurs either because excessive water enter into it or due to the hollows are created or because which uh, water will seep from those water will seep from those holes and will cause seepage in can harm the banks too. So what are the solution for these? Solutions for the problems associated with the canal. The first problem was silting of the canal. Now its solutions: properly designed. Now properly designed means the velocity or discharge or the flow that is passing from it, its velocity should be kept according to the design for which it is designed. Because uh, if we will allow the water with the velocity lesser or greater than for which it is designed, then the silting will occur. Second is the desilting operation. Either mechanically we, with the help of the machines, we take out those silt particles, layers of the silt particles, because silting will reduce the storage capacity. Its use will be decreased. That's why we will take we will carry out the desilting operation. Third is the silt free water. So it's saying that this is also a solution. If we will allow only silt free water, then there will be no silt entrance into the canal, and there will be this problem will not be this problem will not exist. But mostly we cannot control it always, because their water always contains some, we cannot 100%ly control it. That's why, or it's again a costly that to take suitable measures to make and filtrate it. So we, what we do is that we maintain the velocity of the flow, and second, we in case the silting layers have become thicker, we will take this desilting operation for it. And inspections are taken to check whether the desiltation is needed or not. Okay, the second is the solution of the weed and plant growth. Higher velocity in the canals. One, you know that small if plants are there, or any algae has is there, then what we will do, we will for this purpose we will increase the velocity. And with the higher velocity, what will happen, it will takes up those plants with itself, with the flow. So these plants will be drained out with that flow. In this we can clean out the canal. And second is the inspection. Again, we have to check that whether there are whether it is needed to main to make the velocity higher from the head or not. Then the mechanical or any chemical methods, means with the use of any machine or any chemical, we can also get rid of this problem. Then the third problem is that the failure of the weaker banks. The solution is that either we should repair it, means repairing process we should take, or we should smoothening of the surface. Whenever the canal is constructed, we tries to make the surface smooth. Making smooth surface, one thing should be kept in the mind, that is when we are thick bushes or those trees which are having the deeper roots, if we will excavate the those plants which are having the deeper roots, what will happen, they will cause a deep hollows in the at the bottom of the canal or at the side. So better is to keep those roots, just cut it off instead of digging the whole roots out of that soil or the or during the excavation, because that will again not sooner but later on, with the flow of the water, the seepage can occur there in this from those cracks or from those hollows that are created due to due to it. Third is, so smoothening is necessary, but what we have to do, we have to properly cut those off necessarily, but not in the in too much of the depth. Increase in section. Now what we do is either we increase the section by bringing the material from outside, or we can also do one thing, that is silting. Now if you know that silting, whenever silting occurs, it also generates a layer from the at the banks of the at the bank side, at the sloping side, or at the bottom. So silting itself is also making a layer and increasing the section. So if we will make some suitable conditions for which the silting will occur, we can also increase the section. But in case when the banks will become weaker, So if the banks are making weaker, then we can carry out the silting process by reducing the velocity and allow the water to allow water, then suspended particles will settle down, but suitable with the entrance of the silt should be there, because we have to also keep in mind for the time management. So silting is process can be good in this case for the weaker banks. So that fourth is the solution of the canal breaches. Now closure of the solution for the canal breaches is that we have to close that. So there are two conditions. In the small canals we can dump huge quantity of material and for the closing of those cracks, but in large canals what happens, in the large canals there is the flow velocity of the water that is flowing is very much higher. If we will dump material, what will happen, it will drain off that material with itself. That's why we cannot go with the dumping of the huge quantity of material in case of the large canals. For that what we do is driving a double line of the stakes for the wooden 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 piles. Now this method is in this way, like let me show you. If this is a canal cross section and crack is somewhere here, then what we will do, we will first tries to stop the water, then and also close the water from the head. Once we will close the water from the head, then we have to stop that water which is already there. What we will do, we will a little portion from the cracks where it is where there are cracks, we will tries to uh, embed some piles of wooden piles there, and then we will, or the stakes, then a double line stakes we will, and wooden piles we will embed here, and over it what we will do, we will sand bags or jute bags full of the sand we will keep over it, so that water may not come up to this portion, and we will create a kind of a hindrance or a barrier so that we can repair the breach. That's for the large canals we driving a double line of the stakes or a wooden piles. For the, then we will dump material here, and then or some suitable measures or mitigations we will take for repairment of the canal breaches. Okay, then next is the last, that is the related software. So for the design of the channel, that is the BIM channel or the river engineering design, the software name is Acutera. It's a professional software for the channel and a river engineering design. It integrates mic flood and HEC RAS hydraulic calculation with flood protection design, torrent and landslide control, and irrigation systems design. Using its flexible dynamic data model, it supports BIM workflows and processes and IFS standardized data formats. Means it is a software within the BIM which helps us to design a channel. So here my presentation ends. Thank you.